Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment that we have waited weeks and months for in the making. The PMC Finals. But this isn't any ordinary finals. In this finals, it is a rematch. But more importantly, the ultimate match that has been built up in the making for the last month or 2.5 since the meme of it starting. But in the PMC Finals, it is father versus son. It is Shadow Gallade, the father and the bringer of insanity, versus his son, Pearl Shocker, the one destined for greatness. Two will enter, and one will emerge champion. The question is, whose side are you on? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 90-cent Hedgehog here, with the finals of PMC. And I hope you guys are excited and pumped as I am for this finals game, because I am sure excited for this one for sure. So if you guys are excited, leave a like, haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and join the Phil Shocker crew today, because you'll be familiar with the king of the crew. But please make sure you get hyped for this, because we are going to be placing one of my good buddies named Shadow. Him and I have been really good buddies. We like to really get into the free-for-all games and stuff like that. We always like to kind of meme off each other with the excuses and stuff like that. It's just really funny. And we have been building this meme. I'm his son for the very, very distant future. And it's pretty freaking hilarious. I like it. So, yeah. He's my father. When in reality, he's not. But it's a meme. But this is a meme we've been going with because, for one, it's funny. And two, it's, yeah. So, with that being said, guys, it's time for something that is this game. Sorry, I'm going to turn a little DMer there. But we are very much looking forward to it. So, the way I do finals or potential rematches in team builders or playoffs or anything like that, I like to kind of go over the team that we had last time versus the team, and also my opponent's team that they brought last time. So let's break down Shadow's team. I didn't get a copy paste of his team, which I wish I did, but he was definitely Choice Scarf Ditto, 100%. Ditto being Scarf is one of the most nuisance laden problems that a lot of teams have to face. I do expect Ditto to be roughly the hasty or naive nature this week. Probably more so naive, if anything, because my team is a little more, I guess, hasty because my team is a little more specially based than physically based. But it's definitely going to be one of those things where he's definitely going to be careful. Ooh, excuse me. But stuff like that. Runarigas, I think he's going to bring again this time. Runarigas that he brought, he had definitely Toxic Spikes. I know for a fact he had Poltergeist. Why wouldn't you put Poltergeist when it's a really good set? And he had Earthquake. His last move could have been Toxic, could have been Stealth Rocks. I would probably assume it was Stealth Rocks, but I'm not going to do anything. And it was probably either a Rocky Helmet or a Leftovers variant of Runarigas, but probably one of those Leftovers. We didn't see it, though, to confirm that or not. Last time he brought Magmortar, it was actually Assault Vested Magmortar, which proved to be a little annoying versus our team. He was really specially offensive with Scorching Sands and Thunderbolt. He obviously had a fire move, but I don't know if it was flamethrower or fire blast. And for his last move, I don't really quite know. But the Magmortar didn't prove to be that much of a problem, but it definitely was something to kind of know. He was most probably like Flame Body 100% because of what I've got. Last time he had Lucario, he was fully special because he had a Vacuum Wave. I think he showed Vacuum Wave. I'm pretty sure he did. But he had Ore Spear, which I assumed. So I'm going to assume he was a Nasty Plot set, because his dual stab really hits my team really, really hard for super effective damage. So I'm going to assume this was set they definitely had last time. I will probably not lie. I do probably expect the exact same set to come again this time. Real quick, Inteleon, we didn't get to know anything, but there was a possibility that it was either going to be Life Orb or Specs probably, just for the fact that it's got great speed against my team, and it's just going to be one of those Pokemon that we're going to kind of struggle with if we don't deal with it properly. So it's definitely something to kind of factor in with that as well. And last time he brought his Ments, which I know for a fact he's going to bring to the finals, he had Dragon Dance, Dual Wing Beat, Earthquake, and I'm definitely going to assume his last move was either Outrage or Dragon Claw. I did see what item he was. I would assume he was Lumberry Ments. If he's not Lumberry Ments, I would assume he was probably Yachi Berry or maybe Habomberry Ments, something like that. So I'm going to assume he could have also been Expert Belt. He could have been Life Orb. I need to double probably check his team again, watch his video, just to make sure if I can see what Ments is. Because I don't know if he hovered over Ments or not, but it's definitely going to be one of that. This is definitely going to be one of his main mons that we had to get through and beat, because it really did work on against our team when it comes. I kind of did allow it to happen, because it didn't. I just had bulk in front of it, and then it just set up with 2 DDs, which was not that good for us. So yeah. So as for what I'm expecting Shadow to bring this time around, I still think Shadow should bring Dottler, in my opinion. I feel like Dottler's very, very important versus him for speed control. But if he doesn't want to bring Dottler, he could probably bring the exact same team, knowing that it did exactly what he did last time perfectly well. I do think, actually, nothing about it, I think he's going to leave Dottler behind. So there's a decent chance he could bring the Articuno, because Articuno is really, really threatening versus us. He could try to bring back Magmortar, but I definitely think the 5 between Ditto, Rune, Mence, Lucario, and Inteleon, I think those 5 are guaranteed still coming. So his 6 is either going to still be the Magmortar, or it's going to most likely be, in my opinion, the Clefable, the Articuno, because Virizion, I got 2 flying types and a fire type and a bug type that resist, that's got coverage, and I have a fairy type, so I can kind of see him and stuff like that. With that. So, yeah. So, I looked back to this team and I was thinking to myself, okay, what do we need to do? And I decided to only really make one change. I will say this, I was so tempted to bring Sceptile to this game. Now, I know Sceptile really kind of doesn't have the matchup here, but there were some ways I was thinking of running, but ultimately I decided to bench it just because I didn't feel like it was that much of importance of this. So I did make the one switch to this team that I think is going to benefit this team much more in that regards, and I think it's definitely going to put us in a great positioning and advantage going into this week. Excuse me. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and break down the team that we have that is going to hopefully grant us the victory for the title. And before that, I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to switch this to Calm Mind, because I'm just gonna go full with it. So to kick off this team, we have Zaku here, our Tapu Koko, with the weakness policy, Iron Defense, Roost, Calm Mind, Store Power. I'm trying to remember. Wow, I'm really blanking here. A Store Power set. There we go. Shadow has 0 Dark types on his team. So last time, I think we messed up not bringing this set versus him, or just not using our set correctly last time versus him. So what I decided to do this time around was, I was thinking, okay, I could run the Choice Spec set again, or I could run something like Calm Mind, and then just go from there. And I might also just go with that Calm Mind set and just run Shuka Berry, and just run enough speed to outspeed, his 1-mons and stuff like that, and then go from there. But what I felt like was going to be more important is we got to deal with Ditto. And Ditto will be a massive problem versus us if I can't do anything about it. So I was thinking to myself, what's going to be some strategies that I can do that's going to cripple the Ditto more, if anything, for our team. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? If I'm bringing back Zaku this week, knowing that I'm going to have to bring probably some setup in this matchup, what's a setup that's going to cripple it? Now, letting him, know what my stats are, that's going to be a problem. But there's ways we get around that set, though. But it's going to come down for me having to be very, and I mean very, careful how I build and how I play this game. So, with that being said, we have got Tapu Koko here, like I said, we're running the Store Power set, max HP, 8 in defense, 116 special attack, 132 in the speed. Now, I'm not faster than Inteleon, because for one, I don't expect him to ever bring Inteleon on me, or switch in this in, or lead with it. So, the goal is to get set up, obviously. Now, Ditto very well can copy my stats and can copy the fact that I'm going to be offensive. However, Ditto can't copy the fact that it's going to get stab off that store power. Now, my store power will hit slightly harder than Ditto's. Now, what's very key and crucial about Ditto this matchup is that Ditto, if it copies it, it only gets store power. So he can't take advantage of my set, no matter what he does. And I do have Mons that can basically be fine dealing with themselves in that type of regard. But ultimately, Coco wins this game because Shadow made the one mistake that every Draft League player makes as well. You never, ever, 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 when you do a draft, you never forget to draft a dark type. I've made that mistake, and I'm going to let Shadow know the exact same mistake that he made this time. However, we're not bringing Sand this week. I know it's crazy, but I am bringing the man who brought us to the finals himself. Big Daddy Scott Steiner Buzz Swole, baby. We're running Bulk Up Sub, Iron Punch, Ice Punch, and Drain Punch. Now, this set is going to work phenomenally well this week. Why do you think it's going to work phenomenally well? I'll tell you why it's going to work phenomenally well. Because he really doesn't have the greatest switches to dual stab on my team. But the main stab he struggles the most to deal with is Fighting Stab, which his only resist are Clefable, which he's not going to probably most likely bring this game, because again, there's things like Duraludon, there's things like Dragofish that are faster and outspeed and knock it out, there's just good amount of things on my team that can beat it. Bulk Up, Ice Punch, and Drain Punch do what I need to do. Now the goal is to hopefully either get a Bulk Up off, or a Substitute off, and then hopefully get a Bulk Up. So what I want Shadow to do here is to do one or two things. Either he needs to, if I go for the Bulk Up, I'm 100% Ice Punching in front of him. 150%. Because what I think I'm going to have him do is think he can go, oh, I can just go for this duel. I can just go for this dragon and save now. Ice Punch, if he's not Yache Berry, can basically do it. But if he is +1, then the thing he has to worry about is then him having to worry is that I do have the Cobra Berry, which is going to take the dual Wing Beam. I can take one dual beat thanks to my natural defenses, obviously. And if I get that +1 bulk up, it's not going to do as much. Especially with the Cobra Berry, the second dual Wing Beat, I can comfortably live. I will be incredibly low after the second one. But the idea here is to weaken him down, especially if he's not a +1. If he's not a +1, it's not a big problem. Plus, he might not even go for the +1. He might just go straight for the knockout, he thinks. And then, boom, I got him and knock him out. We're running 100 HP, max 144 attack, adamant nature, 84 defense, 48 def, 52 speed. The speed is to outspeed his lowest speed stat, which is 206. Which means, again, if I can confirm anything is 206, if all is 206, have any speed investments, this confirms it for me, which is actually going to be better for me than the long run instead of not being beneficial. We're bringing Mr. Fish, but this time we're bringing Scarfish this week. Where our max is, it does let me outspeed his fastest team, and the only way he outspeeds me is with any Scarfish or a +1 Mence. Guaranteed. We are running Outrage, Vicious Rims, Facade, and Psychic Fangs. He does not have a fairy besides Clefable, but again, if Clefable's not there, I can freely spam Outrage, which is really, really good. Vicious Rev is pretty spammable against this team. We are running the Psychic Fangs in case the Virizion does show up. We also have Psychic Fangs in a way to stop potential screens if they are up there as well. And with Facade, if Casey wants to try to Toxic or burn me, Facade spam is also very, very good because he doesn't even have a Ghost type on his team. So, with Vicious Rends, Adamant Nature, even with the -1, if Mens takes at least about 10% a chip, it's pretty much putting itself right in range of 2 KO from Dracovish with that there. So I really, really believe Dracovish is potentially, if not, is going to be the win con of this week. Um, that tips division. This time we're bringing back Despair, but we're also changing Despair up as well. So we changed up Zaku from being Specs to Store Power. We changed Vish from being Sand to Choice Scarf. This time we're changing Assault Vest to Choice Specs because looking at his team, Dark types and Flying type really just go ham on. So I decided to do this time was I was going to make sure I outspeeded his base 80s. So base 90s I could have speed tied with, but anything above base 90 obviously is going to outspeed me. So anything that is base 89 or lower, I'm pretty sure I've covered. I am faster than him. We have 56 HP, max special attack, and 200 speed for that again. So that's speed crypt. Air slash fire rep and U-turn. Air slash plus fire rep is all I really need. But what's really, really cool about this, we're running Scary Face. Now, this is incredibly risky for me to do. Incredibly, incredibly risky. But what does this set allow me to do exactly? It allows me to get the hard switch and force switching out on his side in case he wants to deal with the lower speed. -2 Mint, which is really, really good. -2 Ditto that comes in on me is really, really good. Anything -2, I get guaranteed speed control. And anything his speed threats are going to have to do, they're going to have to do way harder. And then allows all my other mons that have just some good bulk and natural goodness and all that can be now faster than him. So that's what's really going to be amazing with this set. Is it wasted move slot potentially on this thing? I do agree, yes. But with also being choice specs, I don't have to necessarily click it unless I absolutely need to. Pivoting is also really good, and my dual stab, like I said, is just super, super good. I am running Air Slash over Hurricane just because I don't want to risk a miss like I happened last time. And believe it or not, we're actually bringing back Hoot. Flying Stab is really good against this team because he also doesn't have an electric type on his team. The only thing he has for flying types is ice types, and those ice types, well, let's just say they don't want to deal with a Coco, a Fast Vish, a Fire type, a Rock type, a Steel type. I don't need to keep going, but I will if I have to. But this time I bring in a different Noctile set this time. We're bringing Mono Air Slash, which is not terrible to bring versus his team. Nasty Plot Air Slash, Roost, and Defog. Again, I don't mind bringing this set that's a setup set just like Zaku. Because with Zaku's set being his main attack store power, as long as I keep Despair in the back, he can spam store power. And again, he's got a main flying stab. I go in and keep Zaku around. He can't do anything with it. That's what's super, super good about these two mons that I have. They're mono setup with mono offensive. But again, they counter what Ditto can't do, which is changes a thing. And if Ditto's going to change its sets, it has to rely on the fact I'm going to bring speed on my team in order to copy the speed and go from there. But ultimately, it's not going to do that. It's most likely always going to be your own choice scarf. And I expect that from Shadow. But we're running Nasty Plot, Air Slash, Roost, and Defog, 136 HP, 60 special attack, with a modest nature, 188 Spadef, and 124 speed. Again, the speed. We are bringing more of a Spadef bulk set than Fizdef set, because again, you saw how well this walled Lucario. We're going to make sure we wall Lucario again with this set. But it also does take some hits from Ment relatively well as well. So it's definitely going to be something we have to kind of focus and move towards in this week. But again, if I can get a Nasty Plot up in front of Ment is not going to appreciate the fact that I'm going to severely chip it down, and it might pressure it from either going for an attack to kill me or going for at least a +1 sweep, but still not being able to do much against my team. And that's my list. I decided to change it up for this nickname. It's the finals. Shadow loves this evolution, so I'm going to name it Shadow's Child, just in honor of him. We have Flame Charge Facade, Fire Fang, and Giga Impact. 12 HP, max attack, 244 speed. With the Flame Charge boost, I am faster than Inteleon. I'll be faster than everything on his team. Now, what's really important is that we get that Flame Charge off this time. Last time, I took the chance of not going for that Flame Charge. I think ultimately it didn't matter because if he had Vacuum Wave, he was going to knock me out. And the fact that he went right into it kind of also would have told me that I was going to have Vacuum Wave. I'm pretty sure it would have knocked me out the range I was at. But The reason why you have Giga Impact, there's even at -1, I want to hit that Salamence so hard. And I want to hit anything he has that's bulky against this team. And plus, it's going to force him to be careful not to click Giga Impact, because he might just misclick and click Giga Impact instead of clicking Facade. So I got to make sure I play my turns relatively quick and very careful in a fluctuating perspective. But ultimately, again, fire coverage is really good against team. Plus, normal spam is, again, extremely good against him. And with the normal spam comes fire stab. And then fire stab comes, he's got very little switching. Again, if I can get this flame charge off and get against anything on his team before something like maybe the Magvorchar comes in, before anything else can come in, I can spam Facade, which is going to be very important for this matchup. And this is also really good, because if Ditto comes in and copies me, it copies the poison in the +1 speed, but it's going to clock that poison, which is going to force it to be chip, 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 and then it's going to go down. So basically, with the +1 speed, it's going faster than 372, which is going to go 373, which is going to speed tie with my Dracofish, obviously, which is going to be slightly a problem, but it's not as big of a problem as it can be. And again, there's just so much to Flareon. I think it really good. So we're kind of risking it. We're bringing kind of some of our about 3 to maybe 4 of our A tier mons that we've had this season, and we're bringing 2 mons that we have not really used at all this season. So we're really laying it down on the line this week. But you know what? I'm happy we made the finals, and I'm glad it's against someone like Shadow, who's been a really good buddy, and I've been having a lot of fun with in the Dark Devil's Den Discord server, which you should join, by the way. Hashtag to the Dark Devil 26 YouTube channel. This is hosted by Brendan, my good friend. Anyways, but I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Full Shocker crew today because you're really getting the pro. And I will see you guys whenever we have this battle live, and I will see you guys for the finale of PMC. Until next time, everybody. Peace.